So today is pontoon day, and we're going to be changing this out. We got fuel hose. Beautiful. So we're gonna be taking this old thing off pontoon, putting this one on. Got a 60, going from a 60. Show you how to do this real quick. It's pretty easy. For this one's gonna be super easy because down here, all of our rigging is wide open, and you only got main harness and shift and throttle cables, steering cable here. We're gonna take this off, disconnect these rigging, take these bolts right here off, and then take that nut off, steering cable, pull right out. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do, get this thing all de-rigged. Once that's all de-rigged, then we'll come out here, we're gonna change this control box out, and that'll be most of what we're doing. So let's get the engine off of here first. Forgot about my power and ground. Gotta disconnect those two. Yeah. I gotta get in here and get the zip tie on these battery cables. So that's wonderful. Wonder if this thing pulls out, make it easy. That doesn't help. I ain't trying to take this oil tank off. So it looks like they put the end on this cable after running it through that thing there that doesn't come off. So we're gonna have to cut,
on the battery. You're talking about on the battery.
Cut this cable off here.
Oh.
Never mind. I just gave her the beans. Realistically, we won't need this though, because this new engine should have battery cables already on it. Yeah, on the inside of there should be battery cables for this. Alright, so it should be a 1/2 inch. Take this nut off here. And we'll be able to get, it's not, so 9/16, take that off.
You might want to put that on top of that. This is should be, but
I don't know.
yeah, they
The box to put it in. Pretty much good to go on our steering cable. We're going to want to take the engine off before, and then also, so this is in the middle here. Got our anti-ventilation plate just below this. Might be a little bit buried, but probably gonna be good. So I'm gonna put it in the middle. I'm gonna put anti-ventilation plate just below that, the way it is now. Maybe I could come up a little bit. I mean, this thing's probably buried, but I'll put it back similar to where it's at. We'll take these 4 bolts out. Hang this. I need to get my lifting eye. So this is Marine Tech Tools. Beautiful thing. Just slides right in here, and be able to pick it up. I'll probably need the other bracket to put this one on there, but we get the forklift going, pull this thing off, and get the cable out of here. Then I want to run all my rigging before we put the engine on, just because it makes it easier without this in the way. That's good right there. Yeah. Going up. Go up. take it down? All right, now that we got our engine off of here, put it on a pallet, good to go. Not leaking oil, that's good. Make sure I don't lose my lifting eye. Take this off. And once I get that off, I'm going to go ahead and start taking these shift and draw cables out. Take this harness out, so that way we can go and get new cables. I gotta figure out how long these are. Probably gonna be in the front with the numbers. Battery cables gotta come out, switch come off, because we got new battery cables right here for the engine, and the new harness comes with the control box. So I'll see what we're looking like under here. It's like one cushion clamp here, two cushion clamps. So those two cushion clamps, I should be able to one, two, and then they go right up there. So should be pretty easy peasy. Actually no. Yeah, because that's my steering cable. Yep. Should be easy. Let me go take a look what that situation looks like. Oh yeah, the sleeve here, easy peasy. So looks like this is just mounted. I'll take these off. Well, nuts under there. Not even nuts. These are just straight up mounted on. So let me pull this control box off of there, and we'll disconnect our control cables. Actually, I'm gonna leave those control cables in. Nah, I'm gonna have to take them out of there because I won't be able to pull this thing through. But somewhere around here I should have some numbers. In which I do not. Let me get the control box off there. Hello. You got a trash can around here? Yeah, actually, out of my bag there should just be some. Yeah, give me. Okay, so we got the battery cable off of there. I need to clean this up a little bit. Ground off, so that's all out. Control box out. I left the cables in here. On these cables, you will be able to find usually a part number with the length in it. Now that I've got them all wound up, okay, so right here, so you can see this one's a CC17915. Usually that means it's a 15-footer. It's a Teleflex 53142, usually the part number. So I need to get this apparatus off of there and get that onto the new control box. That way I can mount up the new control box after we go and get some control cables. But I don't think I need anything else in order to continue on. So I'm gonna get this over on the pallet and then get, I need to get my prop off of here. Get the prop off there so we can use it. And then also move this thing over to that, get the control box up in there. I can run my 14 pin, and then we'll be real close to ready to pick this one up, put it on there, and take this thing to the water. For your debut is my buddy Cody.
Sir. How you doing?
He finds this position and working on this way more comfortable than changing the outboard on his pontoon boat. That's why he's got me here doing it for him. Okay, we got our control cables, so I'm gonna put these into our control box here. Take this off, cover. Just need to mount them in here. Pretty sure it's a 10 mil there. Just shift it. Loosen that up. Might be an 8 mil. And put our cables on there. Knobs go in here. Put that on there. And then our spacer will go on there. So let me put this together. Send them through this hole. And then through that hole out the side. And then we'll run them to the back. All right, got the engine on there, got our steering all hooked up. This was a pickle to get this in there. This thing was just kind of bent a little bit. That nut's on there, all tightened up good, bolted right. Now, what we need to do is kind of hide our control or power cables. I'm gonna run them up this way, probably zip tie them in here somewhere, kind of get them back here behind the battery box to kind of hide them, or I might be able to tuck them in. I got enough space in this battery box, I could probably tuck at least the ground cable. I don't know if I'll be able to get both of them in there, but I can hook up to my battery switch, get these power cables done. I'll do something with the 14 pin, or not the 14 pin, but that one, bring it into here. Here's my 14 pin. We are going to need to use this adapter for this harness, so we will take this and stick this onto here, hook it up. And then the only thing we need is our control cables, which we need to get the right control cables. But other than that, we are close to being done. Beautiful, engine's on, steering cable's in, battery box is in, wiring is all clean for the power. We still need to do our 14 pin in there, or well, 8 pins, what that one is. Get our control cables, steering cables all hooked up and good, props on. Yeah, get our fuel tank put on there. And we'll be ready for the lake. We're gonna come back tomorrow morning, get our cables ringing, and then that'll be time to go splash it. All right, got our control cables in here, so it's only an adjustment on one end. Stick this end in here, mount up my control box, run the cables down through the hole back to the engine, and then we'll finish rigging, remount this control box. This is gonna be pretty easy. I just need to grease this stuff up, pop it together, put that backing plate on there, and then we'll be virtually done. We do need to do a PDI on the engine, check the oil, gear lube, start it, shift it, make sure the lanyard works, all that good stuff. So we'll do that after we get our control box mounted. put this biscuit together. Control box is in, looking beautiful. Might have to adjust the friction a little bit once we get out there, but lanier's in, got our sticker in there, very important, all zip tied, looking smooth. Now we just need to run these cables under the boat, hook them up to the engine, and we will be rolling. All right, cables all through, looking good here, looking good there, all zip tied. Now I just need to come back here, hide our extra cables.
I was gonna say, how much we have to wind?
Mainly this is the extra that we got. We needed a 15. All we had was 20, so 20 is what went in there. Just gonna coil it up, all zip tied in here somewhere, or make it look pretty. I might even be able to pull it back and tie it up in there, make it look pretty up there. But let me pull this thing out. Got a 5/16 or 8 mil right there. Another one here, just come off. We'll get everything pulled through there. This dirty biscuit's ready for the ocean, baby.
What's going wrong?
Enough. For these shift and throttle cables, these are pretty easy. Main thing is just go ahead and shift it a couple times so you can figure out which one's the shift cable. And then you want to take this and it in the neutral position, make sure you're in neutral in the control box. And then this is going to be neutral right here. Make sure that just barely slips on to this, and you're going to move this in and out to line there, so that way this cable just slips on and off this very easily. And that's pretty much how you adjust that cable. Same thing for your throttle. When we put it on here, this is just going to slip on, and that's just going to slip on, so that way it just drops into place. Got everything rigged up, looking good. This is all connected, grease, got the nut on there. I'm happy with the way this turned out. Rigging, I kind of got a swoop like this. This is going to give me plenty of space to go back and forth. Wondering if I should tuck it down, because I don't want this rubbing on this metal here. That'll chafe it. But then at the same time, if I tuck this down, I could probably go, I probably could have went under that and had this loop like that. I might even do something like this to keep that up like that, which will give me plenty of back and forth. It'll keep everything off. I just need to coil up the main harness. Yeah, I think that's my play. Main thing is we want to have enough space to go back and forth without binding anything up, which that's pretty clean. So let me see about taking this screw out, putting a tie here, and then strapping that like that. Okay, we're looking very, very pretty now. I got that clamped up top, so that's good. All of our rigging here, steering left and right, free and clear, no binding anywhere. It's above that bolt down there, so that's gonna be perfect. Got our power wires up here, so now let me put the fuel tank on here, connect that, and we will, the oil level's about middle, so I might top it off just, no, that's perfect. I'm gonna leave that like that. Check the gear lube. Once I check the gear lube, we can start run this thing and make sure it shifts, throttles a little bit, shut off works, in gear protection, do the PDI, and then we can hit the lake. I'm gonna shift it. Sweet. Neutral.
That makes me want to get out on the water.
Huh?
Makes me want to get out on the water.
Oh yeah. All right, we're looking good now. Starts, runs, gear loop's good, shifts, lanyard works, and gear protection works. I just need to let this sit for a minute so I can check the engine oil one more time now that we've ran it. I'm gonna let that sit like that for a little bit, get all the oil drained out, and check the oil. And then after that, we can pull this thing out and dunk it. Yep. All right, check the oil here real quick. She's a little low. Yeah, you'd have no problem. Yeah, I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil, and then we'll be done.
This,
You know
that,
what?
the
You see some of those videos on there.
Perfect.
Some of the
Good to
people
go.
in the vehicle.
All right, Cody, we're gonna take your boat out. You have fun working.
Let's go.
That's like that run.
There we go. And that is how you replace or change your outboard.